All right, the Hangout on Air is now live. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We bring you adventure on so many levels. Tonight we're going to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Woohoo!
Yay!
We
all sound so excited.
Yes, well, we have. I think we're all listening to cute baby talk in the background.
Is that coming
just
through?
A little bit, just a little. So tonight we have our full complement party plus a special guest. So let's first introduce our special guest, Mark Kilfoil, the encaffeinated one. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. This is going to be thrilling, exciting, and frightening.
Yes, our very first guest player. And so, but we also have our regular party. We have Chooch Schubert as Autarchy, the Tiefling Paladin.
Good evening.
Jared Axelrod as Muugen the Magnificent, Rogue and Monk.
Hello, hello, hello.
Nirakina Ethu, played by Starla Huchton, High Elf Cleric.
Greetings and salutations.
See, when I say it in the wrong order, it screws everything up.
It's messed everything up.
Yeah. And Vivid Muse as Amethyst, the human druid.
Good evening.
All right, so who wants to recap us from what happened last time?
What happened last time? I can give it a shot. Last time we let's see, we were going through the forest and we were accosted by some elves for our impudent. That's not a word. Anyways, they were pissed off about our little tree damage we did, or allegedly they were. So we thought we had to go in for justice, which basically we went into a hedge and had to fight a big swamp, weird weed plant creature, evil spirit. Which, of course, we did.
Naturally.
Burning down all the hedge maze and everything. And our little dragon sprite friend helped us get rid of those pesky elves. And so we got into the gate, and we were accepted in and got our room at the inn, and it was grand and amazing. But we didn't get a full night's sleep because we were apparently wanted at the Copperbeard estate. Land, holdings, claim.
Yeah, they rousted us up out of bed and loaded us onto a train.
Territory.
Well, you
So
hadn't
it sounds
yet
like we
gotten
may
on
be
the
getting on a
train.
train.
Yeah, you were headed that way, but you hadn't boarded the train yet. But yes, awakened in the middle of the night with an armed escort for your protection.
Right.
All
For
right.
our protection.
Always.
Right.
So as we pick things up, you guys are headed out from this inn through this big central cavern, and you're now headed past where you guys had visited the Copperbeard embassy. And you have all of these dwarven guards kind of maintaining kind of a perimeter around you. They actually do seem like they're watching like around the perimeter. They're not necessarily focused on you guys, but they're encircling you. But they do seem to be looking out like around to make sure to see if anyone's gonna approach. And so we've got something happening with Muugen in just a second. Are you with us, Jared?
Yeah.
With something, that's fine. So yeah, you guys are heading through this big central corridor, and you notice actually, you would have heard it in the inn as well, but the tone of this enormous bellow chime that was emanating throughout this central chamber before, it's doing the same thing, but it seems to be different notes now. It's a couple of steps higher for each tone, but it's still kind of this pulsing boom, 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 boom sound instead of the lower tones from before. So, Jared, I know you just muted. Do we have you back? Just because something's about to happen with Muugen. Well,
I can hear you. I'm just changing it.
Okay, understood. Well, so we are going to basically what happens as you guys are moving through this area is you see the guards are definitely sort of giving looks to anyone who would be kind of otherwise coming towards you. Like they're not that they're approaching you, they're just making sure everybody's giving you like a wide berth, right? They're staring down anyone who is otherwise going to try to walk through their little perimeter. But then you notice that a tiny little gnomish woman, she looks pretty elderly, and gnomes are already long-lived, but she looks old. She's only about 2.5 feet tall, and she just is walking right in your direction. And although the guards see her, they kind of sort of stop walking and don't interfere with her as she just walks right in through their perimeter that they had established, walks right up to Muugen and says, "Oh, darling, would you be so good as to help me with a little favor? Or just a wee favor?" And before you can even really answer, she kind of grabs your right arm and presses some sort of a device into your hand. And then, unless you're struggling, she kind of holds up your arm, points it towards the ceiling, and then presses a button on the device. You suddenly feel this device clamp around your wrist, fire something off the end of it, which sails out on a cable, sticks on the ceiling, and then suddenly reels back in, and you find yourself yanked off your feet, propelled by this device in your hand is reeling in, and it's got you around the wrist. And
I'm going to have to call bullshit on that, Christiana.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I got all this stuff that makes me alert to this sort of bullshit anyway.
Well, I was going to let you try to resist, but I wasn't sure if you were prepared to tell me what you were going to want to try to do. So as she approaches to do this, did you want to try to stop her from doing what she's doing?
I would think so.
Okay, that's fine. So let's...
It seems a little clumsy. I've had can you help me with a wee favor?
Fair. I'm just saying, I was only continuing because I wasn't sure if you were resisting or not. You have to, now that you're letting me know that you wanted to resist. So what she asks is a wee favor, and she is attempting to press something into your hand.
Right.
Are you
well, obviously, when she says a wee favor, I say, I doubt you could ask me for a large favor. And I want to grab her wrist as she tries to push something into my palm.
She chuckles at your jokes, like, "Oh, I've heard them all, but I do enjoy that one. Here, if you would just be so good as to hold this." And she's trying to continue to press this into your hand.
Right. Well, I'm not buying it. Because wait, we're in the...
You're just in this open, central plaza that is kind of like the open area. Like, it's underground in the Barrier Mountains.
Yeah. If we're in the Barrier Mountains, I am definitely on high alert for this kind of thing.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to try, since she's trying to put it in my palm, I want to try to snatch it from her and palm it so that it is no longer, she is not controlling the object, I'm controlling the object with my fingers.
Okay.
And, so essentially making it disappear.
All right, well, roll a sleight of hand check.
I will indeed. I don't know where my character sheet is. I'm not prepared.
Oh, well, I can email the most recent version to you if that would help.
I have it. I just don't have it pulled up.
Okay. It's a D20 plus 10 for your sleight of hand.
That's so amazing. Plus 10.
Well, rogues have this neat thing called expertise that they get that lets you double proficiency bonuses for some skills.
Super fun.
Oh, it is. This has been one of my favorite stats. And that would be a 21.
Yeah. Okay. So you do manage to do it, and in terms of you have obtained this device from her. It is about like the handle of it feels kind of like a dagger grip, but then the whole thing is a little bulkier and sort of a black box on the end of it. So that's what you have just taken out of her hand. It does have these weird little, you know, like moving parts on it that are not entirely clear what they are, and some things that look barbed on the front end of it. And so as you have just seized it and it just disappears into your robes, she just says, "Oh, hi, I knew I picked the right person to help me out. Clearly, you have the dexterity needed to use such a device."
Oh, ever the flatterer. Flattery will get you everywhere, but I believe we're here on a purpose. Yeah.
As you look around, the guards are kind of avoiding looking at the gnome, but they seem impatient.
But, you know, what's a few minutes between newfound friends?
You actually hear the lead guard actually go, "Oh, Pete's sake." She says, "New friends, I do hope so. Here, what I was hoping to do is this device needs field testing, as you see, and I believe that someone more dexterous than I would be the best to do so. And I saw you, and I just knew that you were the perfect test subject for me."
Field testing, eh?
Oh,
Do
indeed.
we really have time for this?
There's always time for field testing.
If this ends up like that race, I am out. I will leave you. All y'all.
All right. So examining the device,
Mm-hmm.
it is, as we've established, out of character, a cable gun.
Yeah.
Can I glean that from looking at it now? Do I have to roll something for that?
Make an intelligence roll.
All right. I mean, I really think this would be a sleight of hand roll, though.
Well, see, a sleight of hand roll would let you like fiddle with it, but it wouldn't tell you what you're looking at.
Are you sure, Christiana? Are you sure it's not a sleight of hand roll? I think it's a sleight of hand roll.
No. It's a it's an intelligence roll.
That's an 18.
Okay,
Ooh.
so yeah, you're definitely able to figure out what it seems to be, because it has little spools of cable. It has what looks like, you've seen grappling hooks before, that you're not unfamiliar with the concept, and this seems to be something that is designed to propel a grappling hook, spool out the cable behind it, and it does have some additional mechanism that may well be designed to reel it back in.
So, is there a user manual with this, or?
Are you asking her? Yeah. So she said, "Oh no, it's
perhaps a video tutorial. Maybe.
It's very simple. You just this bit right here looks like the trigger of a crossbow, don't you know? And it will fire the hook, and then once you have grappled your target, you simply press this button right here, reel it back in. And if you should need to disengage the hook, you can just press this button."
I'm gonna aim for the lead guards. I'm assuming they have shields. Do they have shields?
They don't have shields, but they're fully armored in heavy armor.
Helmets?
They have axes and helmets. Yeah, they do have helmets.
They have. What is their weapon of choice? Is it like a polearm?
The lead guard has a battle axe. Like,
is he holding it or
double-sided? It's on her back.
All right, I'm gonna aim for the battle axe with this thing.
All right. The guards have sort of specifically been avoiding looking in your direction for whatever reason.
Exactly.
And so you do as you start to level it towards the axe, the gnome does kind of go he giggles kind of nervously.
I knew you were my type.
So do you fire? You're going to make an attack roll for it. It is a ranged attack roll and I'll say that you're proficient. So it's your dexterity plus your proficiency, which I don't have.
3.
Okay.
My proficiency bonus is 3.
Yeah.
That's what it says on the sheet that you sent
Yes,
me.
no, that's correct. And I'm just trying to remember. Oops, I've got too much open. Okay, so yeah, +3 and +3. So you're rolling a d20 plus 6.
Right, that's 19.
Okay. Yeah, you fire this thing and it goes, and it's not far. I mean, you're only standing like 7 feet from this the back of this guard, and so it strikes her in the back. She kind of takes a step forward, sort of gasping in surprise. But you see the hook kind of seize around the handle of the axe.
All right, and so just hit this button here. Yeah.
The lead guard is already starting to turn around, and the other guards are kind of alerted now to like, wait, what just happened? But as you press the recoil button, you see it yank it starts to yank the axe, but it is actually like secured on her back. Like it's designed to be pulled out a certain way.
Sure, yeah.
Which is not necessarily the direction. So basically what the cable does is it kind of, as she's starting to turn around, it starts to jerk her back, spinning her back to where her back is towards you, but it also jerks you forward towards her.
Yeah, how big is she compared to me?
She is she's much stockier than you, but she's about the same height.
But solid.
Yeah, so she's
I think I'd probably be yanked right off my feet and slam into her back.
Yeah, so she's pulled backward and spin back a little bit, and you definitely just and you slam into her back. And the guards have all the other guards have all drawn their weapons now, and they're shouting, "Put it down! Put it down!"
Oh, that went well.
I'm gonna have to draw my sword and shield.
And the lead guard is she's like, "No, everyone just stop. I'm fine." What I think she's trying to turn around and look, but if you're still hanging by this thing, I mean, like you're not hanging off your feet because you're not any taller, but you definitely got pulled into the back of her. So what are you doing as she tries to turn around and see what's happening?
I'm gonna disengage that hook and act like nothing happened.
Okay, she turns around to see you just standing there, like twiddling your thumbs and smiling.
Yeah. I'm admiring the amazing ceiling of this place.
And she kind of just turns around and I assume that you've pocketed this.
Oh yeah,
this thing.
Like it was never there.
So she turns around and just like looking at you, looks at the gnome who is also just kind of smiling brightly. "I think that went well," she says, and the guard is just like, "Okay, then are we? Maybe go. We're going. We have to take this. We have to take these people to the Copperbeard territory."
I don't know. Is there another field test? I feel like there might be another field test.
Sheath my sword.
The gnome just says, "Well, we could. Well, I don't want to delay you. How about this? You take that with you, and you can play around with it all you like, and then report back to me once you're done, and tell me how it goes."
Certainly, madam.
I don't want to keep you.
Right. 2 things. Your name, if you don't mind, and how am I supposed to report back to you?
Oh, my name is Gillifred. And as far as reporting back to me, well, I suppose if you just ask anybody, they'll tell you.
Fair enough. I don't see any problem with that at all.
What could go wrong?
Good then. I know that it will. I have a feeling about this one. I'm getting up there in years. I don't want to be, zipping around on hooks, you see. But I think you'll make excellent use of that. And do tell me if it suffers any catastrophic failures.
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm not going to ask about that at all, huh?
And so she says, okay, now what was next on my list? And she starts like fiddling around in her robes with something and just wanders off. She's just turned and she's just leaving.
Nice.
All right.
Listen, I don't look gift grappling hooks in the mouth, okay?
It's non-magical, right?
How do you know?
Uncursed.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Your intelligence roll of 18.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it's a fairly mundane mechanism. It's spring wound, and if there's anything magic about it, you can't tell because it's like everything about how it works is evident mechanically.
Excellent.
Fantastic.
So the guards are looking really irritated, and as they wander off, as the gnome wanders off, they look a little bit relieved and just kind of say, "We're not going to have a problem, are we? We're still going to the train station, right?"
Mhm.
I'm fine.
I mean,
Lead
I
on.
do want to field test this some more, but I suppose time is of the essence.
Maybe that
Good
can
then.
wait.
All right, so they lead you without any additional interruption to the train station, where there is a small, what seems to be a steam-powered train. Archie, you would probably be familiar with variations on this kind of theme, as dwarves will use them to move heavy materials around and everything. You probably haven't been too deep into the mountains, but you're certainly familiar with the technology going on here. And so as you guys board this little train, it looks pretty fancy. Like the seats in here are upholstered and look pretty new. And you get the sense that this is probably not the type of car that like everybody gets to ride. This is like maybe the special train.
We fancy.
So the
Copperbeards are.
the lead guard kind of just gestures onto the car and says, "We're going to be taking you to the private estate of Yogthor Copperbeard. We'll be stopping at his private station by passing the main territory station. It will be about an hour en route."
All right.
Okay.
All aboard.
All right.
Sounds good.
So all of you board the train, and with a hiss and a clatter and a little bit of a smell of smoke, although not too much because the bellows that keep the air ventilated in these areas and other sorts of just clever chimneys have allowed the smoke to escape and not fill the tunnels. But you find the train zipping into a tunnel where there are dim gas lamps in the train car, but otherwise it's just complete blackness outside because you're in a tunnel, and you're making your way through these tunnels. And the acceleration is slow, but after a little while of feeling this slow acceleration, you realize you're probably moving pretty fast. Certainly faster than the average horse could run. And so you're kind of riding along. The guards are not seated. They've just sort of taken up positions, like in the corners, and they're just maintaining sort of a watchful eye. It's not too aggressive like towards you, but you guys are sort of seated in seats that face the center, benches on the sides that face the center. As you're kind of riding through this tunnel, Archie, you realize that one of the guards is really kind of watching you specifically. And he doesn't look, it's not like an angry look exactly, as much as he's obviously like sizing you up.
Okay.
But he doesn't
Size
make
them
any,
up.
yeah, He doesn't make any kind of move, but he definitely, you see him sort of acknowledge the eye contact and a little bit of a narrowed eye, like, you watch yourself, that sort of expression, but he doesn't move or say anything.
Okay.
Take him.
I got him.
All right. And then as you're, you continue through this tunnel, and the tunnel at one point expands into this enormous cavern that looks like it could go on for a mile. It's this huge open space in there, and you realize that you're on sort of a railway bridge through this space. You can see an underground waterfall kind of in the distance. You can hear it more than see it, honestly, because it's still dark out there. But the little bit of light from the train just reveals this open space, and you hear the rushing water, and you sort of feel the moisture in the air. And Nira, you feel just a little bit of a strange tingle, kind of at the back of your neck. It's as you've kind of come to feel your connection to Rashama, but all you really sort of get from this time is it's like you've just suddenly randomly remembered this childhood prayer that you were taught when you were really little. That was just this verse that goes, "Present in the wind and storm, Rashama maintains his ageless form. Present in the earth and stone, hear his voice, and you're not alone."
Very nice.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, you just find yourself remembering that prayer.
Interesting. Can I see, like, how far does the platform, how far is it down? Like, can you see the bottom?
Oh, it's past where you can see.
Hmm.
You know, so you are in this enormous space that is deeper than you can see. Even with your dark vision, you can still really only make out about 60 feet, and it's a space bigger than that. But it actually, you know, after a few minutes in this open space, it closes up again into another narrow tunnel. And again, as stated by the guard, it's about an hour en route. You do see at one point the train slows somewhat, but then rolls through what looks like a larger stop that might be the main station for normal travelers to this territory, but you roll right past that. And then instead come to a stop to a much smaller station, sized just right for your 2-car train that you're on. And it's also, you know, it's nicely appointed. It's fancy. And the train pulls up to a stop, hisses as the steam pistons, you know, relieve their pressure, and the guards escort you out off the train station and in through some more tunnels. These are, you know, finished tunnels, meaning, you know, carved stone walls as opposed to raw stone. And they take you into a sitting room that has some large wooden benches in it, and a central fire pit with a clever steel, like iron chimney above it that is venting all of the smoke elsewhere. And the guards just say, "Please wait here." And some of the guards leave you in there, and a couple of them hang out.
All right.
So are there any, like, carvings or anything on the walls, or are they just like flat finished? Or?
No, it's there's some nice you know, ornamentation to it, but it's not like letters or carvings of any particular pictures. It's kind of just seems just decorative. But it's a nice room.
Is there any furniture beyond chairs? Is there like chests and drawers or a table or?
There is a table that looks like it has some glasses and a bottle on it. The benches, and there's sort of a central table that, like, this fire pit has a table, a circular table that runs around it. But there's also some shelves that are not like wooden bookshelves, but shelves set into the stone that have some books in them. Archie,
well, I want to take a look at the books too. So.
Okay. Give me 1 second, just so Archie,
Right.
the guard that was staring you down is one of the guards that stayed behind, and he's kind of still watching you carefully, but hasn't made any kind of a move.
Okay.
So Nira, you're heading to go examine the books, and you find several volumes on like Dwarven history, it looks like, and some that look like they're probably just ledgers. But before you've had a chance to really study them long, you guys have really only been in the room for a couple of minutes. The door slams open, and another dwarf storms in. His once copper-colored beard has gone to gray. And he's on the upper end of the range for dwarves, but still vital. He still looks fairly strong, but he also looks really tired. And so Muugen, yeah, you recognize him. This is Yagdor Copperbeard. And he stomps into the room, scans around, and he definitely locks eyes with you.
Hello, I don't believe we've met.
He stomps up, and he's going to try to grab you around the throat, Muugen. Are you going to try to evade that?
Oh, totally.
All right. So, hang on. Make a. I didn't have my roller up. I wasn't not prepared myself. Make an acrobatics check.
Sure. Don't I have a bonus for this sort of thing?
Well, you are proficient in it, I think.
No. I mean, about being caught unawares. I thought I grabbed one of those.
Okay, that is for you. Cannot be surprised in a combat thing, but this is slightly different, and you're not surprised. That's why you're getting to make this acrobatics check to dodge away from him trying to grab you.
All right, that's an 18.
Okay, let's let him make his roll. Oh, no, he is not fast enough to grab you. But as you dodge out of the way, he just kind of snarls and says, I spent a lot of money trying to have you killed.
Well, you were never good at investing.
Burn.
His face, his cheeks were already kind of like red, but they kind of just flushed deeper with anger. But he stops himself for a moment, and he just looks at the rest of you. I want to be really clear to all of you right now. The fact that you're in this room and not my dungeon is because of this letter from my niece. Any of you want to explain?
So, me with my speaking Dwarven. So in Dwarven. So, does anybody else? Like, I don't know if Muugen does. You do? Okay.
I do.
I do not.
Well, I was the one that had the conversation with your niece. And I understand that there are some issues here that we could possibly be of help with, and hopefully make up for some mistakes that our companion here has made in the past.
He's coughing.
I don't know what you're talking about in terms of being able to help. But this family has been cursed for 100 years now because this one, and he points at Muugen, angered the spirits at a crucial time for our family and basically ruined everything. So, yes, as Junta pointed out, we do have some cursed minds. Yes, they have killed a lot of people, including my own son. And yes, it's not going great. And so, as far as I'm concerned, perhaps the way to break that curse is to put the one who caused it down there. So if you all want to go down there with him, perfect. I'll see you on your way, and we'll be done with this.
You know, I
not
love
a bad. Okay,
Look
it's not helping.
But I really think that being the scapegoat here is misplaced.
Really? Is it?
Yeah. Oh, come on. Come on. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't my best work. I'm not gonna say it was my best work, what I did for you and your family all those years ago. But it was pretty good. Certainly not spirit angering, though. I mean, come on. There was a lot of nice incense and smoke bombs used. Some really good words, I thought. Excellent poetry. But, you know, nothing like I would get upset over if I was a spirit. I think maybe there's something else going on here that you don't want to admit. And that's cool. You don't have to admit it. But don't blame me.
Well, fortunately, my decision on whether or not to blame you is not in your hands. What I know is that we hired you to keep the spirits happy. Since then, spirits not happy. And everything that I've been trying to build has been falling apart like sand ever since.
You didn't buy the extra warranty, if I remember correctly.
He just turns to the rest of you. So, you're going into the cursed mine? Is that the plan?
That's the plan, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If I could just ask one question, what are the chances, say we make it out alive, is there any way you'd consider letting him live?
I don't think you'll make it out alive. But here's what I'll say.
Oh, you want to bet on it?
No, I don't.
Oh, come on. That's not the copper beard I know. It's
If
just a
I'm
little
right and you all die down there, then how do I collect? What kind of bet is that?
Well, I'm sure there's something we could leave as collateral. What's in our bag, right?
No, absolutely no.
Come on.
Nope.
Listen, material possessions only bring suffering. There's got to be something in there that we can, let him hold on to.
You're not having any of my stuff.
Yeah, but what?
Uh-oh. Starla, you kind of froze on us there.
No.
Sorry.
Hello?
Yep, you're back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not getting any of my stuff.
I think it's interesting enough without wagers.
Yeah.
Oh, it's never interesting enough without wagers. Come on. When did you guys become such stick in the muds?
It
Listen,
would be sticks in the mud, but
here's what won't happen. You guys ride to the mine train station. You decide not to go into the mine and try to come back. No.
Hey, what about that magical sword I got that one time?
it's spoken for.
You sure? I thought it was in that bag.
Yeah, that is the sword that Archie currently is got in his
It's
sheath.
on my hip.
Oh, yeah, there it is. You want to put that up for it?
Not really. I kind of need it.
Okay. Amethyst, you got something, right? You don't mind?
I was actually just slipping through the bag.
Don't
Trying to
give
see-
him anything.
Well,
Well, think about
he
this.
has
though,
he has
Nira,
his own
like,
sheriff of gold.
if you manage to come back at all, then you win the bet.
Yeah,
So-
true.
Yeah, I feel like Cupcake here doesn't want us to come back for some reason, or is concerned about our ability to succeed, which is not helping my morale.
No, that would be
my morale
Toots.
at all.
That would be Toots. Cupcake is looking through the bag, honey.
It's been a while. I'm sorry.
I know, honey.
So Yogthor is just turns to you, Nira, and he's speaking. You saw him notice you speak in Dwarven, but he's speaking in Common, perhaps just to make sure everybody in the party is understanding him. He says, "Listen, no one I've sent down into that mine has come back. No one who was down there when whatever it is happened has come back. If you go down into that mine, you come back and you tell me what happened. Yes, he can live."
Sweet.
Well, I appreciate that on Muugen's behalf.
Hey, I appreciate it too.
And
Also, though, I think we should really do a wager, though. Come on.
You
Little
have-
gamble.
we haven't really ever figured out exactly how much, but we each do have a share of some gold, some
Yeah.
number of
Oh,
gold.
true.
Yeah, we can throw in my share. What's
You also have
whatever-
your horses at the inn.
We have an extra
Yeah.
horse now that Archie can summon a war horse.
All of
Don't
our
we?
horses.
Boy.
Did you
No,
bring
we
them
can
there?
wager all of our horses.
Incidentally, Andrea is still there with you, and she's just been kind of watching this whole exchange unfold like she had no idea about any of this.
Well, I want to wait. Amethyst wants to wager her money too because I'm not going to have any use for it if I die.
Well, you guys don't have that much money. You all spent it on Nero's new bow.
That's right.
Oh,
Right. Well, no,
Yeah, we
Muugen
do.
still has money though because we didn't touch Muugen's stash because Muugen wasn't
right.
here to vote.
But you and I gave up ours.
That's right. Ah.
Right, because
And I'm just gonna-
if we do without job for Madrigal, then we get the money to pay for his barding for his horse.
yeah, if we slaughter that innocent magical creature, yeah.
Yogthor is getting really impatient here.
All right.
He's like, I don't care
So
about
I'm gonna put my money in here in the pot, huh? And how about you match it? And if we come back alive, we get the whole business. And if we don't, you get to keep everything.
How long do I have to wait?
Well, I'm not going to put it in another 100 years. That seems ridiculous. But I feel like a
How long
reasonable
does it
amount
take
of
to get
time.
down to this mine?
We can get you there on the train in another 40 minutes.
All right.
Give us a day. Does a day sound fair?
You know, I'd say a week.
Yeah, we're gonna need a long rest at
We
some
get
point
penned
soon.
and
Yeah, I'd give it a couple days. Couple days. So I don't think we need a full week, but
You can
couple
have a
days.
week. If you're
All
not
right.
back in a week, this money is considered mine.
Sounds good. But I'm holding you to this. I know
Well-
you're good for it because a copperbeard never welches.
You might not want to go down that road considering how many contracts I put out on hitmen trying to kill you.
Yeah, and they've all failed, haven't they?
Yeah,
That's not
they
your
have. That didn't make me very happy.
Well, I was out of town for a long time.
I would have demanded refunds.
Oh, that's a good idea. You should really, at the very least, argue malpractice.
Can we get them on the train?
And that's how we leave a room, folks.
Yeah. He shouts, "Brigga, come back in here!" And the leader of the guards who came to get you re-enters the room, and he just says, "They're going to the mines. Don't let them leave the station. They're getting off the train, and you're leaving them there you're leaving without them. I'm so mad I can't even talk." And then he storms off down the hall.
Well, I think that went well.
All right, so the guards kind of reconvene. They're actually a little more like they did their first job, which was to get you here. Now their job, it's been made clear that their boss doesn't like you, so they're a little more pushy this time. you notice, Archie, as you guys are making your way back out to that little train station, that the one that's been looking you up seems frustrated. So you guys are heading back to that same train is still waiting there at that station, and you're being ushered onto it by the complement of guards, and you as the train starts to move, you hear sort of the shifting, clanking sound of various track switches being thrown to send you off onto a different side track. And you're off into another tunnel. And so you continue on this tunnel. You're going on, and the one guard goes and kind of whispers to the lead guard a little bit, and she just kind of snorts and says, "Fine." And then he goes over. He comes up to you, still giving you that stare down look. Just says, "You're a tiefling, right?"
Why, yes, I am. You're a dwarf, right?
Yeah, funny. I ain't never arm wrestled a tiefling.
Oh, this will be good.
Really?
You up for it?
Let's see why not. We really got nothing else going on here.
All right. And there is a table on one end of the train car. So he ushers you over there and sits down, puts his arm out.
See, Muugen, this is the kind of thing you bet on.
Before we start, I got 50 gold on Clyde here. Who wants to match me?
I don't have 50 gold. I can't.
Do you still have 50 gold? How much of your gold did you
No, I said I can't because I don't have it.
Muugen.
He's saying this anyway.
Okay. One of the guards who was there in the room with you during that whole thing with Yogthor says, "Didn't you just put all your money in Yogthor's bet?"
I put a lot of money in Yogthor's bet. I didn't put
Show us the
all
cash.
Hey, you show me yours. Come on.
And then they kind of consult together amongst the guards, and together they put together 50 gold from their various pouches.
All right. Excellent. Let's get the show on the road.
They're like, "No, you need to show us your cash." And then the guy who wants to arm wrestle says, "I don't care about this. This is the principle of the thing." And he looks at you, Archie. "You care about the bet? You want to do this. You want to test yourself."
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, you guys don't really believe in yourselves enough to do a bet. Is it really worth the time?
It's not a bet unless your friend has the money.
All right, I'm gonna bluff them that I have the money.
Okay, roll a deception roll.
Yeah,
And
I've got some
Jared, I've missed
gold-colored
you.
things that I think with some fancy hand motions and a nice pouch action, I can convince them that I have it. So the deception.
it is a deception roll.
All right. Ooh, that is a 15. So not great, but pretty good.
Well, you know what? It fools one of the guards and not the other, but you see that, like, you see one of them still kind of looks at you skeptically, but the other one just says, "All right, as long as we're doing this, I'm good." And so the one just like says, "Okay." And so they you're getting ready to arm wrestle, Archie. So I'm going to have you make just an athletics check.
Okay. Athletics. Ooh. It's only a 6 blood. I get +7.
All right. So 13. Yeah. So he is clearly from the beginning not expecting you to be that strong. And so his initial attempt, like his initial gambit that he's putting out, is clearly not enough. And so you find yourself pushing him backwards. And so now we're making, but he's determined now. So we're going to make another roll.
Okay. That is only a 7, so 14.
Okay, he's struggling back now though. He's like, he's not able to make headway though. You're pushing him further down. And we're gonna do another roll.
Okay.
You've got him almost pinned.
And this is an 18 total.
Okay, dunk. You get him. You pin his arm, and so he stands up and he's got this like a respect. Wow. Good job. I wouldn't have thought you had it in you, but tip of the helmet to you.
I'll say back in Dwarven, nice match.
And all right. And he nods to you, and the dwarves grumble as they hand over their 50 gold.
So where is the lead guard? What was her name?
Brigga.
Brigga. Is she like up near the front?
Oops. We lost Jared. Yeah, she's kind of off to one side.
All right. I want to go over and talk to her.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
All right. She's been watching all of that go on with like maybe a sort of half-hearted interest of just who's going to win, but otherwise a little bit disgusted with this whole shenanigan.
Mm-hmm. Right, so I'm gonna kind of sit kind of close to where she is and say, so how long has this been going on with this mine? Like how long? When did people first start going missing from being down there?
Well, I mean, this is usually something we keep pretty top secret, but I suppose if you guys are gonna go down there and never come back, then I suppose it's not too harmful to tell you. My understanding, the accident or whatever it was about 3 years ago. This was a platinum mine, and it had been running for a little while, but it was a very rich mine. They suspected that the veins of platinum ore down in there were, went on for miles. It's going to be a really rich mine, and so they were actively developing it, making it bigger. I know that they were working on trying to find some ways to make the mining process even more efficient down there. And even Yagthor, his son was in charge of overseeing the whole thing. But then suddenly all the communication, people stopped coming in and out of it. And when we sent people to go see what was going on, everyone looked, and from the train station, they could see that there had been some kind of a fight or something. Things were smashed, but everyone who actually went down in didn't come out. We've sent a couple of parties down there, soldiers, good ones. No one comes out.
Has anyone heard anything? Any noises of any kind coming from within the caverns? Anything like that?
Well, when you're on the train station platform, you can kind of hear some sort of a mechanical noise. And then some people say they've heard howling, strange howling. But it's all through, it's echoing through who knows how many tunnels from down wherever it's coming from. So it's kind of distorted. It's hard to know exactly what could be making it. And I never heard the howling. So who knows? It might be people's imaginations. Everyone thinks it's cursed. So who knows what they might be making up in their heads.
Are there any maps or anything in this place? Like how many miles of tunnels are we looking at?
Well, it wasn't that big yet. They thought that the veins were going to go on for miles. They were that big and that rich,
Right.
but the tunnels themselves didn't run that far yet. Like I said, it was a relatively new mine. So they had a couple of levels, I think, of tunnels, but not miles.
Okay. Well,
Sorry, we don't have a map. I mean, I think they had a map, but I mean, the maps they have are probably down there.
all right.
I cannot believe that technical difficulties meant that I missed the arm wrestle.
Oh no, you missed it. Okay, so I was wondering why Muugen wasn't crowing about winning the bet. Yeah, so
awesome.
yes, Archie defeated the dwarf fairly handily.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other dwarf guards grumbled as they handed over their gold.
When they did that, I tell them all that material possessions only lead to suffering as I take their money.
One of them says, "Yeah, well, I guess that means you get to suffer now."
Oh, I'm not keeping this. And then I hand all the coins to Toots.
What?
And all the coins where?
To Toots. I figure if anyone knows how to handle suffering, it's you.
The guards kind of back off, and you hear one of them grumble about throwing gold down a hole.
Oof.
Rude.
Well,
Not
that's
as-
where
okay.
it comes from. It's not a bad place to send it.
Yeah, but dwarves are kind of all about having gold go the other way. So.
Right. Well, I know. I'm being obnoxious.
Is all this gold in a bag? Or is it
Well,
just like what?
they have,
No,
was
it's
coming
loose.
from very
It's a
yeah.
bunch
They don't.
handful
Yeah.
of loose coins.
It came from like
Yeah.
4 different guards' individual pouches.
Yeah.
Well, there's a leather pouch in our bag.
Yeah.
Well, my money pouch I think is empty anyways.
All right. Well, so
I'll put it in there for now.
did you have any more questions for Brigga? Because you guys are almost there.
Let's see, map. How long has it been going on? No, I can't think of anything else.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you guys have been dealing with all of this, the train starts to slow and then gradually pulls up at a very small station. It is only, let's see, excuse me, it only goes about 10 feet in away from the tracks, and it's about 30 feet wide. And you see an opening. There's a couple of openings. One has some narrow gauge rails that might be minecart rails that descend into darkness on the left side of the platform, and then another passageway on the right side where there's obviously stairs descending around a corner. And so you have pulled up at the stop. It is totally dark. There's no light coming from the train station. And the guards kind of look at you and say, "Well, here we are. We're not getting off the train. You are."
All right. Thanks for the entertainment. Well, we'll get to work.
And so as you guys get off the train, Brigga does kind of nod to you, Nira, and just say, "For what it's worth, I hope you can figure out what's going on."
As everybody else leaves, I'm gonna hand her the purse of gold and give it back to her and say, could you disperse this, please? Like it was a bad idea. Could you please give this back to your men?
She kind of weighs it and says, "They'll have to work it off."
Fair enough.
Fuck.
I don't know.
So in any case, they usher you off the train, and the train kind of starts to rev up its engine again, and it goes off down the rails into darkness, leaving you guys. It is now pitch black on this tiny little train platform, and you know, those of you with dark vision can see like a bit, but really all you can see at the moment is what I described already, is this small train platform. The minecart rails look like they go off into one passage and then stairs down the other passage.
Okay.
Is there anything like laying around? Like, is it just like there's nothing here? Like, not even like bodies left? Like, it's nothing?
Well, not on the train platform.
Okay. Does our druid have her produce flame? Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna light my e-torch with produce flame.
I'm just double checking. Okay, so what that allows for you, Amethyst, is it sheds bright light in a 10-foot radius and dim light for an additional 10 feet. So you basically can see about 20 feet.
Okay.
And so everyone make a perception check.
Okie doke.
20.
Ooh, nat 20.
Shut up. Oh, mine's not natural, but yeah.
And this is for hearing, so you can put another +3 on your perception, Muugen.
Because my perception's -1, so it's only 19.
Oh, but you got a 19? Okay.
Yeah.
20.
Okay, 20.
23.
Okay,
Ooh.
wow. What did you get, Amethyst?
20.
Oh, wow, everybody rolled high.
I know.
Yeah, crazy. Okay, so what you guys hear echoing up through the passageway, the sound is definitely very distorted, like it's echoing through from somewhere far away, like it's not a close sound. But you hear a little bit of a sound like ka-chunk, 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 and then this.
Well, that's unsettling.
Hmm.
All right.
Can we tell which direction it came from?
No, it's echoing from far away, wherever it is, and so it's not even obvious whether it's not even obvious whether it came from one tunnel or the other. It seems like it might as well have come from both.
All right, shall we get off this platform?
Yeah, I guess we can just the direction and go.
Right. If you go and you look down the tunnel where the minecart tracks are, you see that the tracks only actually extend about 10 feet past where you're standing, and then the tracks are smashed and broken for about a 15-foot gap.
Hmm.
That could be the signs of the fight she was talking about, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
What about the stairs?
The stairs seem intact as you leave the platform, and you go down about a 15-foot stretch, and then it turns a corner and opens into a platform where this is a ledge that runs around the perimeter of a much larger room that you're entering. So this is a ledge near the ceiling of this 40-foot high room that's like 60 feet across. And this ledge leads to another set of stairs that looks like it used to run along the perimeter of the room. But you can see that only about another 5 feet below this ledge that you're on, the stairs are missing. They're like broken away.
And can't tell how far the drop is from there, or is it?
You can. Those of you with dark vision can see that it's about 40 feet down.
Whew. From
the ledge you're on. And you can see at the bottom in the center of this room, there's looks like a shaft with some broken machinery in the center of the room, about 10 feet by 10 feet. And then there's something weird with the rocks that are sort of immediately at the bottom of the ledge that if you want to make an investigation check for me. This is only for people with dark vision.
Okay. 19. Oh.
All right.
17.
Okay.
Just
Archie and Nira. Okay. Archie and Nira, both of you can kind of make out that it looks like someone tried to spell out words with the rocks. It's a little hard to read them because it looks like whatever the letters might have once said, many of them have been knocked out of the way. But it looks like it might have been trying to say, go back, Denholm's will kill.
Looks like this is the right way.
I was thinking the same thing. Danger hole! We're in.
All right.
Yeah. So I think this is the way we should go. I think I can tie a rope on this maybe, and we can shimmy down.
Yeah, maybe if there's some machinery down there, there'll be lanterns.
Unless
It's
somebody
hard to tell
has,
from up here.
unless somebody has, like, I don't know, a grappling hook.
Oh, I do. All right, so the logistics of where we are just fell out of my head.
Okay, so there's a big room that's like 50 feet tall and about 60, 70 feet around, like in diameter, sort of roughly circular. And you're on this ledge 40 feet above the floor that runs around the side of the room. And there were stairs that used to run further along the side to go down to the bottom level, but they've been broken away. There is a ceiling all about 10 feet above your head right now.
All right, so grappling hook, go!
What are you firing at? The ceiling?
Yeah.
Like where on the ceiling?
Just straight up ahead.
Okay, so above the ledge, though.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Because it's the ceiling, I won't make you roll. But yeah, so you fire, and the hook seems to catch.
Yeah.
Step 1, nice.
So I'm still confused. Am I going up or down?
Down.
All right.
Yeah, it's 40
I'll go
foot
first.
down to the main floor of this big room.
If you guys hear me scream, you should follow.
You wanted to be a hero, right?
Hey, I'm going first. I'm just saying.
I'm very proud of
the
you.
Signal for backup is me screaming really loud.
Okay, so while you guys are fiddling that out, our mystery guest, I'm going to let you know, you're used to it being very quiet around here. And I think you're probably starting off in the fungus garden. And you think you maybe hear voices.
Real voices.
Yeah, they don't sound like any of the ones you've heard before.
I'm going to very quietly make my way in that direction. The back way. The second back way.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so Muugen, you're descending.
Oh, yes.
All right. You realize that having it extend further out is not one of the controls that she showed you, because she showed you the button to make it retract,
Right.
the button to disengage the hook. So it takes you a little while to sort of figure out that there is a way that you can move the trigger that lets the cable spool out more, but it's not like a controlled release.
Oh,
so
of course.
you can kind of do a jerky descent, like, but it's not. You can't. It's not an easy
I would
smooth
say
descent.
that it's got jerky descent for like maybe 2 things, like zoop, zoop, and then just a no.
All right.
Yeah. Either hit the floor or run out of cable.
The cable is long. The cable is long enough, so you're not going to run out of cable. But if you slipped about halfway down, make an acrobatics check.
Okay. Are you sure this isn't a sleight of hand check?
Yes. I'm
So
sure.
while he's doing that, we should probably run a rope down.
All right, so that's a 15.
Okay. So the way falling works, incidentally, is that there is some amount of damage that you would that I would roll on dice to determine, based on how far you fell, and your acrobatics roll can be used to reduce that amount of damage. And so 15 is enough to basically eat up any of the damage that you might have suffered from this fall. So what happens is, as you are sort of find yourself tumbling down, your innate reflexes kind of kick in, and you're able to kind of spring off the side and land on your feet unharmed, but perhaps startled.
That should be accurate. It's like, okay, guys, I made it. You can come down the line there.
All right, I'll jump it.
You're jumping from the top?
Well, no,
You
no,
make
no.
one out.
I meant to the
Slide
line.
on the rope.
Okay. Yeah. So the hook is embedded in the ceiling
right.
above the
not
ledge,
far.
so you don't have to
So,
jump. You can just grab on.
Give it a little tug.
Yeah. Go ahead, make an athletics check.
Okay.
Oh Lord.
20.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nice.
You are able to descend using the cable from this grappling hook just fine.
All right.
Field test
Amethyst.
successful.
Amethyst, do you want to go next, or you want me to go next?
I want to get it over with. Oh, 18. Yay.
Yeah, that's plenty too. Yeah, you're able to climb down without a problem.
My athletics is a -1. I was sure that was going to be doom laden.
All right. So I got a 16.
Yeah, that's fine. So you're also able to descend, and so you're now all on the main floor of this large room. You're about 15 feet away from this seemingly open shaft and whatever the machinery is alongside it, and you're kind of right now in the midst of these rocks that spell out the letters.
Okay.
And as you're on the floor of this now, you're definitely able to tell that the ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk sound is coming from further down.
Uh-huh.
And in this room, you also see that there are 2 exits on this level, one on the left and then one on the right that are opposite each other around the circle. Minecart tracks lead into the one on the left.
I want to try to go straight down or explore.
So we've got minecart tracks on the left and the one on the right. Do we know what was in there? Anything?
You don't see anything from where you are, but you do see that there's some rubble, as though the part of that doorway collapsed at some point. So there's some debris there, but it's not obstructed. Like you could get through without difficulty.
Christiana, am I correct that commune with nature would not work here because it was natural and now it's a construction area? Because it says
it would work, but it wouldn't give you as big a radius underground. If you look up the actual spell, I think it says like 300 feet underground versus 3 miles.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it would work. And I will even say that even though you guys haven't had a long rest, the way that artifact works is that it refreshes at dawn. So even though you did use it like yesterday, you could use it again.
So I I don't know if I should use it here or when we get closer to what we think the source is.
Well, while you're thinking about it, so I would say, mystery guest, you are making your way along the rail line, and you are getting close enough to the point where you're near the elevator shaft A room, and you definitely hear voices.
What are they saying?
Well, they're saying what what these guys have
What
been
languages are they speaking?
common.
Common.
Common. I'll approach if I can find a way to spy on them without being seen.
Okay, make a stealth check.
That's terrible. That's an 8.
An 8. Okay.
Very nearly chipping over my own feet.
Okay, so all the rest of you, as you're kind of standing there sort of talking about what your next steps might be, you hear some rocks kind of shuffling from the direction of the path that has the minecart tracks. You hear just like the sound of like a rock, clattering across the floor.
Mm-hmm. And I will slowly unsheath my sword.
They're not dwarves.
Grab my shield.
Nope, they are not dwarves. And you guys still hear this ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk sound.
Start walking over
There's
that
someone
way to investigate.
there? Hello?
Oh,
Hey there.
Muugen.
All right. They seem to be moving in your direction. What are you doing?
I'm trying to get their attention.
Well, Muugen, yeah, so you heard the rocks. Mark,
Yeah.
your character, what are you doing? They're moving towards you.
Yelling?
Yeah, well, they must have heard you hit the rock, and they're moving in your direction.
I will call out and quietly, if this makes any sense. Be quiet, you fools.
What?
Yep.
I've missed you,
Can't hear
Jared.
you. Are you okay?
Show yourself.
So, incidentally, you guys, while after you call out that last time, you hear this.
Damn it.
And it's and you hear the chunk, the mechanical sound you've been hearing. The rhythm is suddenly broken. The constant rhythm that it was doing before is broken, and now you hear it going. It was chunk chunk chunk.
You fools.
Ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
They are standing where exactly? Just so I know.
They are standing around elevator shaft A.
Okay. I charge in towards them.
Okay. So, as you charge into the room, what do they see?
They see a dwarf looking rather a combination of ragged and also somehow well coiffed. His beard is well taken care of, but it's not been cut in a long time. His hair is wild but tied tightly and carefully back. His chest is bare. His left arm is twisted and held close to his body. His right arm carries nothing but is pumping madly as he runs through. You can see no sign of armor, no sound either, although there is a hammer at his belt, tucked with a strange pouch covering the bottom end. And he charges straight and then to an angle nearby you. You fools! You're not dwarves, you shouldn't be here. And he glances over his shoulder the passage where he came and says, "Come with me if you want to live."
Yes, that was amazing.
So what you see, Mark, I'm still, until your character is identified, I'll just say Mark.
Sure.
But what you are seeing, of course, is a high elf in mithril armor with a warhammer. Do you have it on your back or at your side, Nira?
On my, well, see, I've got the bow too.
Yeah, the bow's
that
probably
work?
over your shoulder, right?
Right.
I mean, you could have both. You tell me. I'm not.
Yeah, well,
gonna,
I've been thinking of, just the stuff having it on my back. So, yeah.
Mhm, yeah. Okay. So, and then you see a human woman wearing leather armor and carrying a wooden staff with white hair. It's very striking because it's very uncommon hair color because it's not gray black, kind of like dwarf hair kind of turns. And then you see a tiefling with black and red skin, yellow eyes, and horns, with a sword drawn. And then you see a fox thing. It looks familiar.
His eyes wander over each of them, taking it in. It looks as though he's not exactly believing what he's seeing. You already heard him say, "You're not dwarves." His eyes linger over each of them. He sees the one wearing a weapon. He smiles, acknowledges, but doesn't seem to be threatened at all by the weapon. In fact, pleased to see it. The short one, well, two short ones actually, because you have, I believe, a halfling with you.
Oh yes,
as well.
I didn't mention Andri, who is also with you. Is a dark-skinned halfling woman with a bow and a short sword at her hip.
There's a bit of a double take towards her, but then realize she's a halfling, not who he thought she was. And then his eyes land on the fox-headed little one.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a look that crosses his face. It's a little bit of disbelief, a lot of confusion, something like anger. And then he looks away as if it's not possible what he just saw. He looks insistently at the rest of you. Now, we have to move. Denholmes will be here in seconds, and I'm not letting you die like the others. Follow me. And he turns and walks across the room to the other opening.
Well, I'm sold. Let's go.
And you definitely hear that ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk sounds closer. And Muugen, go ahead and make another perception roll.
Sure. A sleight of hand roll, you said?
I think that's a persuasion roll to get the sleight of hand roll.
Right?
That's an 11.
All right. He looks familiar, but you can't quite place him. So, are you guys following?
Yep.
Sure.
I'm
I
going
guess
right
we'll
after
start
him.
to follow, and as we start to follow, I will open up my third eye, my divine sense,
Okay.
and look him up and down, and
Let me just double check what specifically that's looking for.
As a side note, I could listen to him read that narration all day.
Okay. You know your divine sense tells you the location of any celestial, fiend, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You do not. None of that pings for you.
Cool.
So you are you're all following this mysterious dwarf.
yeah.
I'm leading him through the commissary.
I mean, he does seem to know what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to pull up my my description.
Also, if he betrays us, I think we can probably take the dwarf. I don't know about the other thing.
Yeah.
All right. So although the dwarf appeared from the left-hand entrance with the minecart tracks, he crosses this room to lead you through the other door, the one that was partially collapsed, and into a room where on your right you see a whole bunch of steel crates all stacked up. And kind of, organized, and a lot of them look like they've been opened. And then on your left is sort of looks like a stand with a locked cage around it and shelves of stuff inside.
How loud are they being?
Well, how loud are you guys being? Are you being
I'm
stealthy?
I'm just following. I'm just
Kind of like
clomping him up
nervously
right now.
petty.
Right now, they're being pretty loud by your
Yeah.
standards.
He turns on them suddenly. Shh, we have to be quiet. If we're not quiet, it will get us, and there'll be no way for anyone to know. Please.
Hey,
Which direction
Amethyst.
is the sound coming from? Sorry.
Amethyst.
Yeah. Yes.
I was gonna say, could you cast Pass Without a Trace?
It is
I
one
think
of the
s-
things that your staff can do.
Right. But I thought the noise was the issue, not the vision, but I'm happy to.
Well,
So I'm,
what Pass Without Trace does is it lets you give you plus 10 on stealth rolls.
okay, yes, yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm going to
okay.
cast Pass Without a Trace, which lasts for up to an hour.
You know, Mark, that it was on a lower level and it's coming up the stairs.
The stairs. All right. You, with the sword, are you strong enough to lift some of those boxes?
Or
Good. We'll need to.
So, this is your place?
You're impossible.
You're not the first to tell me that.
so
I used to go under that name, Muugen the Impossible, but
No. No, not
Where
here,
do we
not
need to
now.
take? Where do we need to take these boxes?
Just put them
No.
in the front, create some shelter. We need to hide. It's going to come through, but if not provoked, Denholmes will not attack. And do not run under any circumstances unless it's the very last thing we can do. Please.
Archie, I'll give you a hand.
yeah, I'll
Alright.
sheath my sword and start stacking
So-
boxes.
What is it
So-
in home, anyway?
Well, so first let's deal with the crates. These crates are like 3.5 feet cubed, and they're made of metal. They're not wooden crates, but some of them are, emptier than others. And so there's a bunch too. So if you guys are able, you're sort of able to drag them around to try to make what are you trying to do? Just kind of create a perimeter to hide behind.
Essentially that, plus they're also open. Some of them are open, so we can kind of hide inside.
Okay, so inside, are you each gonna get in a crate?
Certainly.
Well, can we set one on its side, so like the open end is like not on the top but on the side? See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, you can find some where you can sort of crawl in on the side rather than coming down in on the top.
Yeah, I think that'll be easier.
Right. Several of them seem to have various supplies, like they seem to be scavenged. So what you see is a lot of blankets and cookware and things like that. Some mining picks, that sort of thing, is what you find still in these crates, because a lot of the more useful stuff has been long since scavenged, you guess, because they look like they've been looted.
Up close, you also notice that left arm that was held close and is kind of tied in a sling. It looks like it's permanently bound to his side and very, very twisted.
Okay.
Yeah. So, not able to help you guys much in terms of moving these. I mean, he's
I'm
kind of
directing things. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
You can see that there's been some motion of these crates before, but not a lot. So they're kind of half ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So, the sound is very close now. You don't have much time.
all of you,
All right.
hide. And you notice that he doesn't.
Okay, so
Stands in the
hiding.
open room.
All right. So, are you casting Pass Without Trace, Amethyst?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So everyone make a stealth check plus 10 from Pass Without Trace.
Oh, Jesus.
So I rolled a 19 plus 2, so 21
that'll be
plus
okay.
10.
That'll
So
Mine was 15. I roll at disadvantage with heavy armor.
Okay. 15 is the final, though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm sorry. What did you roll, Jared or Muugen?
Oh, sorry. Distracted by baby stuff.
That's all right. Rolling stealth
What
roll
am I
plus
rolling?
10. Stealth check, but you get a plus 10 because Amethyst cast Pass Without Trace.
All right, that's a 1, but I get to re-roll it. 26.
That's plenty. Okay, so you guys are hiding in the crates, and you notice though that your new friend is not hiding in the crates. So you're not hiding.
No, I'm going to the edge of the mess hall. In fact, to look in to see if I can see.
Okay. As you
Ain't you gonna hide?
Quiet.
Ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
Seriously, Chuck, you should really find a hiding place.
You see
close is it?
that it is emerging from the top of the stairs and entering the mess hall from the other side.
So Christiana, you didn't ask me, but I rolled a 2 with the bonus is a 12. What did
Okay.
Andrew roll?
Oh yeah, I gotta remember Andrew. Well, she's good at stealth though, so
Yeah.
Can I assist
She
them?
got a 25 without Pass Without Trace.
Wow.
Can I assist them in kind of shoring up their stealth?
Yes, in fact, you know because you're specifically looking to help with that. I'll say you can get another roll at advantage, Amethyst.
Woohoo.
Meaning you get one more roll,
Right.
so it's advantage with your first.
Oh, good. 13 plus 10, so 23.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So
Thank
you're
you,
pretty
kind sir.
confident that they're hidden
No.
well enough.
Remain hidden. It will be clear soon, but don't come out. Don't run. I will.
All right. It's coming for you, and so ka-chunk, 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 ka-chunk.
I pull out
And,
the hammer and
Uh-huh.
unhook the covering, releasing
Okay.
the bubbles on ropes and all the very clattery matter at the end of the hammer, and start to
All right.
swing it over my head, making as much noise as possible. So it's focused on me.
Yeah. So you guys definitely you see that it's some sort of a makeshift noisemaker on the hammer that he's rattling.
I'm backing up towards the other door where the elevator is.
Okay. It definitely sees you now, and so it is proceeding at speed through the mess hall.
All right. Fools, tread here, but I will protect them. You, Denholm's last mistake. I'll not let you have them this day. Come after me, you fool. And I start to, once I know that it's seen me, bolt towards the other entrance towards the elevator, leading it through this room and away from them.
All right. Because the rest of you are hidden, what you hear is this sound that you've been hearing is clearly now some kind of a footstep.
Oh, that would have been in Dwarven, by the way.
Okay. All of that. So Archie and Nira would have understood that last bit. But so you hear this mechanical sounding footstep ka-chunk, 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 moving quickly, and you hear it enter the room and pass through and seem to go through back the way you had come from into the first room you came in.
So I'm leading it, but I want to stay far enough ahead of it that I can take the back passage into the fungus garden.
Okay, yeah, I think you're currently. I mean, you have experience enough to know that you're far enough ahead that you can get into it that way.
Okay.
So you're leading it through there.
Yeah.
Right.
Where would it normally go next? Is it meant to be 2 floors down or 1?
It was probably at this time. It was probably on the lowest level. But it would probably continue. It would do another sweep of this level before going back down there, if it loses you.
Oh my gosh.
Have I made it to the fungal garden yet?
Yes. And you have gone through your back way to the fungal garden. In the meantime, you guys, the rest of you, have you stayed hidden and quiet as you hear this thing seem to recede?
Yes.
You can still hear it in the distance, but it's definitely not so close.
I will.
I kind of wanted to take a peek at it, but I think I'm going to stay put until I know more.
So was everything spoken in Dwarven, or do any of us know what he called it? I didn't catch exactly what it was.
Denholmes?
Well, so how much of what you had said initially would have been in common?
The challenge to it would have been in Dwarven.
The rest in common?
The rest in common, seeing that they're not dwarves.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the rest of you just didn't understand just the last bit that he was shouting as he attracted its attention.
Okay.
Once I've gotten to the fungal garden, I'm doubling back to catch up with them again.
Okay, so you're going back down through the kitchen and the mess hall?
That's right.
Okay.
I should have bought us enough time.
All right. Just in case you guys aren't clear, this is a bit of an experiment here where you guys don't have a map, but Mark's character knows this place. So
right.
there is a map that he has. So all right, cool. you guys were hidden in crates. You heard this thing seem to recede into the distance. It's clearly not in the room with you anymore, and it seems to be getting further away, the sound.
We'll gotta figure out what that thing is. Can't you guys magic something to let us know what it is?
I don't know that it's magical in nature.
Yeah, but you can do a thing
mechanical.
Like, oh, who did you do? This thing just was here, and I know it had horns and 3 eyes because of magic. That's how that works, right?
Right. I mean, I can commune with nature. I don't know I don't know if this is where we want to use it, because I can only use it once a day.
I would hold on to that because it's going to make noise. Probably don't want that right now.
Yeah, I'm assuming you guys are whispering to each other at this point.
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
staying in your crates for now.
Let's wait a little longer to see if our dwarven friend comes back.
All right. So you have, because you're moving quickly to try to keep your distance from it. You're probably back into the mess hall and curving around to where they're hidden now.
My hope is that it's continued on down the passageway, although now I realize there's another line that you can see there.
It's probably going towards, it's heading towards elevator shaft B right now.
Okay.
But it's probably going to make another sweep of every room on this level before it goes anywhere else.
Can it pass by the stairs to come back in here, or is that...
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, that's probably what it will do.
All right.
So you've got maybe a minute before it comes back to the mess hall again.
All right. When I get back to the room and I see that they're still hidden, I hope, and not missing, I will approach them. Good. You seem to be still alive. This has gone better than sometimes. Now, we have to move quickly and quietly. It'll make a little loop around, and we're going to have to dodge around it. Through the fungal garden, I think, in its back door, and then we can go around the other elevator and the back stairs. I think we can make it down to the 2nd floor and possibly at least down to the foundry. He's a little bit out of breath because it looks like he's been running, but there's also this wild excitement in his eyes. Now.
Right. So what exactly are we trying to run around?
Can somebody tell me if that is real?
He is definitely real.
So you are him.
It's a long story, and I don't think we have time to tell it right now.
Ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk. You hear it getting closer again.
Quickly, follow me and don't stray. Don't make any noise.
But what are we running from?
Denholmes, I told you that.
Later.
Let's go. No, but listen, are we running from something big? Are we running from something small? Are we running from something snaky?
Does it matter?
It does if we're trying to run from it.
Sounds big.
Very large, very dangerous.
All right, yeah, it's getting closer now.
Go.
All right.
I'll follow him.
All right. So you follow through the other entrance to this room you were just in, and it expands into a big area where there are lots of wooden tables that look like, dining hall tables with benches. Excuse me. There are a couple of them that are smashed, and kind of all over the place. You see sort of like various scattered like metal trays and silverware and so on occasionally here on the floor. Some of them seem like they've been crushed by something. You see along the right side of this room, there are two openings into rooms that you can't really see because they extend into the darkness. And then along the left side of the room, there's another entrance. One of the things that you see that you pass as you move into this room is a bunch of breastplates and helmets that have been hung up like on like a rope, like a clothesline, that kind of run along one side of the room. You're passing that as you go. And you're leading them into the kitchen?
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right. So you go in through the pathway on the left, and you're passing through what does seem to be a kitchen. There's 3 iron cooking stoves and some assorted preparation benches. But you're moving through that small area into another room that smells very, very earthy. There's like soil and some sort of like living matter and some decay through that room.
There would be a blanket or a couple of blankets over the entrance.
Okay.
It's not hiding it as such, but it's not obvious at first.
Mm-hmm.
It just direct you through the blankets. Again, I'm trying to keep people quiet. Can I hear if it's past?
You know that it does check the fungus garden.
Yeah, but at least it keeps them a moment. Is it at the stairs? Can I hear that yet?
Yeah, it's probably around the stairs right now.
Okay. I'm going to have to leave you again for a minute. But if you go to the very far end of the fungal garden, look to the small statue, not the large one, the small one. To its right, there is what looks to be a crate. It is not. It is a door. Pass through it. It will be narrow and difficult, but you can do it. Once through, on the tracks, turn right, past the elevator. Do not use the elevator. You will hear the thing receding in the distance. You will come upon the stairs. Take the stairs downward, and I will try to meet you down there. If I do not, there are many places to hide. I suggest you find them. I hope that we will not be that late.
All right. So you're heading back out towards the mess hall?
Do use the elevator.
And I'm going to use. I'm going to again use a bit of distraction to try to distract it into Barracks A. Okay.
All right. So you guys, as you're entering the fungus garden, you see your new ally here retreat back into the room and repeat the sort of noise-making challenge, and then disappear into the dark passages on the far side. What are the rest of you doing?
Towards the back.
Yeah? All right.
Looking around.
You find yourself passing between what looks like a garden that grows exclusively mushrooms and other kinds of fungus. There was clearly some organization at one point, but it's it's overgrown in many respects, and yet clearly someone's been taking care of it. You can see parts that have been harvested here and there. But that's what's in this room. And as you move through past all of these various different kinds of fungus and mushrooms, you do see statues at the back and the crate as was described.
So, Christiana, is our den homes, are they magical? Are they natural? Can we roll to see if any of us know what they are? Or do we just not know?
Well, yeah, you don't know.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go for the crate and follow his instructions.
Yep. And as described, the crate with a little bit of fiddling does sort of open outward on a disguised hinge, revealing a a small, rough tunnel. Archie, you have to really bend down, and it's kind of awkward. It's a little too small for easily to get through with your horns. The rest of you, it's not too tight a squeeze, but I hope you're not claustrophobic because it's not big.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as you enter this tunnel, are you closing the crate behind you?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and you make your way through this tunnel, which extends about 20 feet, curves a little bit, and you find yourself emerging into. Incidentally, I'm assuming, are you maintaining your produced flame through all of this, Amethyst, or?
Now that I am, because we didn't rest, so I didn't get to switch grab dark vision.
No,
yet,
I meant like, are you keeping the fire up during all of this?
Yes.
Because it will, in theory, make you easier to spot if you're ever in line of sight.
Well then, yeah, but then I'll just be walking in the middle of the group then.
Yeah. So if you put it out, you're both you and Andrea are effectively blind because it is totally dark.
Oh, Andrea too. Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody grab a buddy.
Yeah. Thunder buddies. Yeah.
All right. So the rest of you then emerge from this tiny little tunnel into a larger tunnel. It's not. This one isn't big either, but this one has the minecart rails running along its length, and it doesn't look like the tunnel is much bigger than it needs to be to allow minecarts to pass through, but it extends to the left and to the right.
Did he say? He
said right.
Yeah, I think he said right.
Yeah,
he's probably right.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Right, past an elevator.
Yeah. So you're going right. You follow that tunnel for another 30 feet or so, and it extends a little bigger again. And you see the mine rails go onto. It's a similar shaft to what you saw in that first room, except this one has what looks like an elevator car on it, and the rails go onto the car.
Elevator bad.
Take the elevator and go.
No.
Elevator bad.
No elevator.
No. He totally said take the elevator.
He said don't take the elevator.
I'm pretty sure I said take the elevator.
Okay, you go right ahead. I'm not taking the elevator.
There is a bit of machinery that looks like the control panel for the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can see, so past the elevator, there's another passage into a room that once you get through, you could see what's in there, but it's a little too far.
I'll just walk past the elevator.
Yep.
Are you guys sure? I'm pretty sure you said take
So Muugen is my darkness buddy, and I'm tugging him along past the elevator.
All right. I'll trust you on this one. But
all right. And so the next room you come into, you see that there is a large
just a
set of
world building question.
Yeah.
Were there elevators 100 years ago? How has technology progressed in the 100 years we've been out of this?
Elevators are not something that you are familiar with outside of this area, but it doesn't sound completely outside the realm of possibility for stuff that dwarves might have.
Sure, but I'm just wondering if I would even know an elevator if I saw one.
I think you would be familiar with the concept. You might be really intrigued and want to play with it.
I totally am in general.
There's no doors. This is kind of, it's just basically a big suspended platform with no sides on it.
So
I mean, if he'd been with the dwarves before, there's a good chance he would have seen something like a lift.
Well, I think Muugen's dwarf history was mostly above ground.
Yeah, I didn't go into any mines.
So as you pass through the elevator room, you find another room with a really big, wide set of spiral stairs that go down. These stairs are like it's 10 feet wide each stair, and they descend down into the darkness. And there is actually a central shaft that's open in the middle, circular bit that these stairs curve around, and that looks like it goes way down. And even that central area is like 10 feet across. And so those of you with dark vision can look down through that shaft and see that there seems to be, like, the next landing that these stairs go to is about 40 feet below here, but the shaft and the stairs continue further down.
All right. Head down the stairs.
Down the spiral.
Okay.
And while you've just last bit with them before they head down the stairs. During this, you have heard the sound kind of stomping around, and at one point you heard a little bit more of your dwarf friends shouting, echoing through the hallways. But right now, it doesn't sound too close. All right, so Mark, how's it going?
So my intention is to lead it into Barracks A and do the same sort of switcheroo. Take the tunnel to Barracks B, double back and run like mad for the stairs. Okay. Hopefully catching up with them soon.
All right. So actually with that, my guess then would be if that's your whole path, then probably you have already been at the stairs. And so when they get to the stairs, would you have been waiting on the upper level, or would you go down first?
I would be waiting for them if I didn't see them down the stairs.
Yeah, so I think you guys, as you get into the stairs, your dwarven friend is waiting for you there.
Good. Now, down the stairs. We'll be able to find a spot to hide and rest for a moment. Probably might as well go to the center of it all, I suppose. The laboratory.
This would have been a lot easier in the elevator.
The workshop, I should say. It would have been much more elegant death, maybe, but it wouldn't have been much better for traveling. Quickly, before it finishes searching the room I was in and starts again to travel.
Yeah. So as you guys descend the stairs, you go down about 40 feet. To this next level down. And as I mentioned, you see that the stairs do continue even further down. And you still can't see the very bottom through the shaft, even those of you with the dark vision. But as you emerge onto this next level down, you see a very big area that looks like it was perhaps an equipment staging area. It has... the room is big enough that it actually encompasses this level's part of the elevator shaft that you just passed. And there are a bunch more crates stacked around. And you actually also see scattered through the room, there's a couple of, at first glance, you almost think that they might be dwarves standing at attention in armor, but then you realize they seem to be like rigged up, like dummy soldiers. And then there's one that's smashed.
And despite his only one arm and the darkness, the stranger moves swiftly, confidently, and very familiarly down these stairs, as if he's run down them many times.
Are you continuing down?
Down and then off to the right to go around to the workshop. I figure that's a safe place.
Okay, so but you're getting off on the foundry level.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So as you leave the stairs into that room that I just described, you move up past the smashed dummy soldier and move into a passageway. It's about 10 feet wide, and this one you can see on the walls. There's remnants of spots that look like they might have once had gas lamps, but there's nothing lit now. And you move through that area and you come to a place where there's an opening with a door that it's a wooden door, but it's been smashed. So it stands open, but it's on the left, and you're moving through there.
I go and point and tell them, go inside. We should be safe for a minute inside.
All right. You guys heading in there?
Yep.
All right. So as you enter in there, you see this. It looks like it was some kind of a workshop, that there's a lot of workbenches with all sorts of tools. Archie, you would recognize that it's a full set of blacksmithing tools in here, but there's also a lot more fine tools like tinker's tools and delicate forceps and things for very fine, precise work as well. On all of these workshops. And then on the other side of the room, there's a whole bunch of bookshelves, but they're all empty. Let's see, I'm trying to remember what else I've got in here. Make a perception check. Everyone who's heading in
there. Critical fail.
5.
22.
Okay. Nira, you spot in the corner. It's hard to you see something there, but you're not really familiar with what it is initially. Hang on, I have a picture. Yeah. It's a strange little metal. It looks like a little metal canister at first, but then it has sort of almost looks like a big teapot, but it's got various spindly bits sticking up off the top of it, and or one on the top and then 2 on the bottom, and it's kind of sitting unmoving in one of the far corners.
All right. I want to go check out the thing because the bookshelves are empty and it makes me sad.
So as you approach the thing, you see the little bit on the top jerk up and kind of point at you, and then what looks like a human eye on the end of it opens, and basically this is what you see. Only it's not standing, because as you get close, you can see one of its legs has been snapped in half. And it just says, it opens up the eye kind of looks at you and just says, "Who are you? What are you doing here?"
We're hoping to solve a mine problem. Who are you?
How do I know that you are not intruders?
We were sent by Thor Copperbeard.
The eye kind of narrows like in suspicion. Prove it.
Prove it.
Can you prove you weren't sent by him?
You probably would because you came into the room with them, Mark, you'd be observing this.
When he comes into the room, you can see he's dragging over bags of rags and things like that to place in the doorway. Mm-hmm. He does ask others to kind of give him assistance because the one-armed routine is a little slow. Mm-hmm. At the name mentioned, though, he will whirl around. You were sent by Thor Copperbeard. Are you here to punish me, to bedevil me some more? And he looks at Muugen in particular. Bedevil me some more, or set me free.
Let's go with that last one. That last one sounds good.
Who are you?
No one's asked me that for a while. He stands a little straighter. Straightens his beard. I am Alaric Copperbeard. Thor is my father.
But the one that went missing like 3 years ago?
Has it been 3 years? I lost track. So the soundings are all off. Time is impossible to tell. I've been running in 3 years, really? I suppose. It makes it nearly a century since I last saw you, the fox.
Well, give or take a few months.
I don't know whether I should strangle you or thank you. I know what my father would like.
Again, let's go with the last one.
And again, I never really agreed with all of my father's decisions. I never thought. And his face goes sad. But for you to have found me here, I hope that your fate is better than the rest who've come. Why are you here? You were sent by my father? He gave up on this place a long time ago, I thought. No more dwarves have been for a while. But you're not dwarves.
Nothing gets past you.
We're not dwarves.
Now I see my father's hand in this. He wouldn't send any more dwarves because they haven't come back. But you, especially Muugen, he would send you here. Hopefully to die, right?
Well, I think that was probably his hope.
Yeah, it's kind of win-win for him. Either we die down here or the curse is lifted. So,
curse? Is that what they're calling it?
Well, no one knows what to call it. Maybe you can explain it to us.
Incidentally, sorry, just to interrupt.
Nope.
What you would have heard kind of in the meantime is you did hear the sound start to approach closer, and Autarchy, which I can now call you by name, you would recognize that it is now coming down the stairs, and if it continues its normal behavior, having patrolled the first floor again and not found anything, it will probably go back to the lowest level where it was interrupted.
Okay. I hold everybody in silence for a moment or two, and he cocks his head and listens very intently as the sound gets further away.
Mm-hmm.
And focuses into the middle distance, raises his hand, his one good arm. Actually, I suppose it's the right arm to be proper, which doesn't make it on the camera anyway, as I realize. And focuses, and a war pick appears in his hand. From a far distance, you can hear the sound of rocks falling. I'll trigger one of the traps to distract it.
All right. Just so you guys know, when we say a war pick appears in his hand, we mean that literally his hand is empty, and then there's a war pick in it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And so then, as that happens, you're activating one of the traps on the lower level to make sure it goes that way. You hear echoing through the hallways what sounds like some sort of a collapse. Some rocks have fallen somewhere.
Now, it sounds as though you know little. Denholm. This was his workshop. He was brilliant. Maybe foolhardy, but brilliant. He stood taller than anyone, at 3 foot something rather. His mind knew no boundaries, but he made a mistake. He had a vision of a being, a construct that could make the mining operation so much more efficient. Fewer would die, more would be mined. And he was right. The creation is, and there's a sort of wild look of admiration in his eyes. It is beautiful. But something went wrong. I don't know exactly what. There was a lot of noise. I was struck on the back of the head by what, I'm not sure, a rock perhaps falling. I remember screaming, not my own, but hearing it echoing through the walls. And then it was loose. It was loose in the mines. Many of us tried to fight. Most of those died quickly. Others, like myself, tried to hide. But it smashed the way out. My arm was already injured. I could not climb. Some tried to. I decided to hide, and from my vantage point, I could see that it peeled them off the wall, one by one by one. Systematic. Denholm liked that word. So I hid. Others have come. Some sent by my father. Others, I think, perhaps looking for treasures long buried. And supposedly, I guess, haunted mine. They thought they could take on the creature. Some of them were almost successful. But in the end, they were gone. Some fled below. I've not seen any of them either. And the other little ones. Some thought they could negotiate with them. Trucks drove by. It was brutal. But they fell under the spell and worked themselves to death. I've been able to hide. I've survived. I plotted. I built what I could. I have not been able to defeat it. And many have died. 3 years. It felt like longer.
You said they fell under the spell. What did you mean by that? Worked themselves to death.
There is something else below. Other things. Small things. At first I thought perhaps others of Denholm's. But I don't think he built them. I don't know where they came from. The numbers change. I've looked at them a number of times. I could feel the call. They're working on something, but I don't know what. Building something. Denholm's doesn't go down there. But it's not safe to be there for long. Others have gotten close, tried to speak to them. Others have tried to fight them or stop them. And then they stare. And they begin to help building. And they will not respond to a call any longer. I don't go down there anymore. I don't know if I would resist any longer. Then there's no one to pull me from their grasp. And before the others have left, they thought they found a way out through the winds. But they vanished into them. And no calling ever brought them forth again. So I do not know where they have gone, but I do not feel that they survived. And this one, and he points to the small one in the corner. This one, he won't even talk to me anymore. I was angry. I was scared. I didn't mean to attack. All of Denholm's knowledge he has. I can't figure it out.
What is this? What is this thing?
The little arm perks up and says, I am CK. CK book. It's a joke.
That's good. I'll remember that one.
Kind of surprised that he speaks at all and kind of amazed. He'll speak to you. Maybe you can ask him to share the knowledge, to find the secret of Denholm's.
It looks at you suspiciously. Are you friends of that one? I don't know if I can trust you.
I back off.
No, we just met him.
It's my duty to protect Denholm's knowledge.
Who gave you this duty?
Denholm.
What could we do to prove to you that we're trustworthy?
I don't know.
It's not
safer.
really all that
Safer
smart.
to keep the books in here. That's the safest. If I cannot get them out, I keep them in here.
So I'm kind of looking around. What do you mean keep them in here? Where are the books? I love books.
I love books too. I'm keeping them in here. And it kind of looks down at the little teapot compartment and says, I can store an unlimited amount of books in my compartment.
That's
But
amazing.
Only books.
That sounds like a euphemism.
What if
the arm kind of extends out to, closer to you, Muugen, and just says, a euphemism for what?
Well, when you're older, you'll understand.
What about a
I find that
trade?
unlikely.
What about a trade? Would you be willing to take things that we have in exchange for looking at the books, and then we'll trade back when?
What do you have?
Hey, Amethyst, don't we have like scrolls and stuff?
Yeah, we have scrolls. Do you want to see some scrolls while we see the books?
They're very old.
Knowledge.
They're like books.
My
Very
duty is
valuable.
to protect Denholm's work.
Right, but
We won't
to
let
prove
anything
to
happen
you,
to it.
yeah, to prove to you that we mean no harm to the books. We just want to look at them. You can hold on to the valuable knowledge that we have. And
We
then when we're
protect.
finished, we'll give it back. Like collateral. Like you're holding on to important things for us so that we return your books safely.
Make a persuasion roll. With advantage because you're helping each other.
Persuasion. It's charisma. 16 and 3, so 19.
I can allow you to see one book at a time. Do you know which book do you want?
The book on the construct.
Which construct?
The big noisy one hunting everything.
Denholm.
There is more than one book on that subject.
Out of character, you guys. I love you all, and but I'm gonna have to tap out. But yeah.
So glad you're
We're so
back.
glad to have you. All right. I think we're probably not going to go too much later tonight, but anyway, but we can kind of we can do a little bit more here. So, but yes, so yes, CK here is
So
saying
Which book? So Archie, you have experience with things being crafted and
metalsmithing.
made
Yeah,
and such.
yeah.
Right. What would be
How about the most recent? For the most recent
an
information.
operations manual?
That's a good idea.
My IT guy, I swear.
The book of instructions on how to use it.
there is no such book. However, there is a blueprint.
That'll work. That's a good place to start.
Will not be permitted to hold the blueprint. I will remove it from my compartment and maintain control of it, but you may look at it.
Okay.
All right. Amethyst, would
Do
you
you have a way to get Denholm's knowledge out of this mine?
if we can survive the construct, yes.
Is that your intention to do so, to help me get this knowledge out?
Is that what you want?
Yes, it is my duty to keep Denholm's knowledge safe. It is impossible to do it here without just keeping it in my compartment, but then it is lost forever.
Yeah.
And it looks over at Alaric and says, "This one has proven untrustworthy."
This one's been down here for a very long time. But yes, it is our intent to leave, and we could take you with us.
It looks down at its broken leg and says, "I will need to be carried."
Naturally.
We can do that.
Very well. I will show you the blueprint. and you see there's a little door that opens in the compartment of this thing, and the little sort of almost teapot shaped thing. It's only maybe a foot in diameter and a foot tall, but as this little door opens, you see a rolled up blueprint that is clear. It's like 3 feet by 5 feet big, extends from out of this little compartment, and is held aloft by some magical force, unrolls, holding it up. And so any of you guys that want to look at it and try to glean anything useful from it can make an investigation roll. If you have a picture of it now, you might want to show it. I don't have a picture of the. Well, okay. Actually, I take that back. You know what? I'll show you them.
So I rolled a 21, if that means anything. Although I'm not mechanically inclined, so.
I'll cautiously try to observe, but I'm going to stay at my distance.
Yeah, my investigation sucks.
Well, I'm going to let you go with advantage though, because of your blacksmithing background.
Right on.
6 for me. Woohoo!
Where's my
11.
11.
Should someone also roll for Muugen?
Yeah. Hang on. Let's see. Someone want to roll just a d20 plus 1?
16.
Okay. So first of all, what you guys just see in terms of the blueprint is something that looks kind of like that. So for those of you who might
very steampunky,
may only be listening to audio, what you see is something with that by the scale on the blueprint. It looks like it's probably like 11 feet tall, 12 feet tall, something in that neighborhood. Has a smokestack coming off the top of it. It's cylindrically shaped in terms of its torso. Looks like it has a boiler and a furnace. The furnace is kind of where the stomach would be, and it you see a little grating. Has 2 arms and 2 legs, all mechanically in clockwork. One hand has a big like pickaxe on it, and the other hand has a big wide shovel. So what you also spot, Nira, with your investigation roll, is that there also appear to be 2 big steam whistles on the top of it. And they're also, in addition to seeing like the mechanics of how the furnace gate works, like the latch of the door, you also see that on the back side there seems to be a panel that can be, it's got a lock on it, and it can be opened, and it seems to be on the back where it wouldn't appear to have any functionality related to the steam engine element of it. You don't necessarily know what it would be, but you see that there's a panel there. Archie, what you see from your investigation based on your blacksmithing knowledge is that the specs for the metal that is used here, it would be very difficult to damage, and that's even just from a mechanical perspective. It would be a very tough metal. Not impossible to damage, but pretty strong. And that's before anything that you don't know if there might be some magical element. There's definitely parts of this blueprint that don't really make sense from a pure blacksmithing perspective. But you gather that this thing would be pretty strong and pretty durable.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yes, but what's the panel there for?
Denholm was the one who knew everything about it. All I know is what I've seen. Follows routines. It has patterns. It takes care of itself. I've been thinking about that for a while. I think I may know a few things we can try, but...
Where is the man that invented this machine? Denholm, is that his name?
Denholm was no man. He was a gnome.
Oh.
And among the carnage of what initially occurred, he was one of the first to fall. There's tears welling up in his eyes. I miss him. I don't know why he didn't finish or what happened. He never even gave it a name. I just always called it Denholm's. And I have to stop it. I have to make sure no one ever faces this thing again. I'm not even sure if I agree that those blueprints should see topside again, in case someone else makes one of these things and can't control it. Down here, it has a purpose, which it works at.
When you say that, incidentally, CK kind of narrows its little eye, and the blueprint whoosh, whoosh, back into the compartment.
It doesn't agree with me.
Clearly. CK, do you only have the book knowledge, or do you have? Can you answer questions about Denham's knowledge?
I know things that I was personally witness to. I do not possess the knowledge of all of the books inside me. I know what they are, but not necessarily their contents.
Do you know anything about the construction of that panel, or what went in, what's behind it?
That panel is where the golem's instructions were placed. Incidentally, Alaric, that is more than CK has ever told you.
Figures.
So if we could...
At full strength, we can do nothing to it. But it has to refill its boiler with water. It has to reflame once in a while. It has to repair. If we can stop it or slow it or catch it at a time when it's not at its fullest, it might be able to do something to stop it.
Yeah,
or
if we could
slow
cut
it.
off its water source.
There's a lake below which it fills its water from. I've tried to set bricks to fall and rocks to clog it off, but it's built to dig and just cleared them away. I wasn't able to build them fast enough to make it do anything but slow down, but I did slow it down. I have a number of traps set throughout the mines, ready to be triggered if I can place my hammer there as the fulcrum and summon it to me to set off the trap. Some of them are unfinished, and some of them, well, I'm not sure if they really ever worked. I thought it might be confused. I don't know how smart it is, but it seemed to realize that helmets and armor aren't people. For a moment it was confused, but then it wasn't.
Well, let's see. There has to be some way. What if there was water where there shouldn't be within the mechanism?
Well,
Like, say, rather than being in the boiler where it would normally put water, the furnace part of it, what if there was water in there?
well, the fire that burns within it, I don't believe is simple fire. The elemental, which is used in the smelting pits and the main fire of the forges not far from here, is how it reflames itself. I don't know what that exactly entails, but simple water probably wouldn't put its fire out.
Well, you do know that it moves much slower for a while after it refills its boiler.
Yeah. It's much slower after it's refilled its boiler. I remember these things now. It's like a voice spoke in my ear and reminded me. And I've given up trying to say no to the voices. Sometimes they're real. And he actually reaches out and pokes the nearest one of you to kind of check that you actually are there. Satisfied, he kind of nods his head and continues.
By the way, I'm assuming that Amethyst has got her produced flame out again now that you guys are hanging out here a little bit, just so we can assume everybody can kind of see.
Are there lanterns here?
Oh yeah. You probably have a couple that still have some oil.
I snap my fingers and light the lanterns.
Sweet.
All right.
That should make it easier for you. Sorry, I'm used to the dark. It's useful down here.
Right.
Andrew kind of nods. I can imagine so. Hiding from that thing. Can it see in the dark?
It sees well enough. I think the dark hinders it somewhat, but it still makes its way. It's built to be run in a mine, so being able to see without flame is useful.
Yeah, based on your experience, it can actually probably see further than you can in the dark.
Even better than me, sometimes. Although it's difficult, I'd never stare it down that long.
Mm-hmm. It glows a little bit. The
also
furnace
glows a little bit from the boiler. A steam you can hear from a distance as it whistles.
Wonder how it would deal with lightning. Didn't have such great luck with that the last time I used it.
Not much lightning down here, so it's hard to judge. Not much storms.
True. Wondering.
How long?
Trap it if we could trip it.
Is Muugen kind of there, or is he kind of off if we put a little above his face?
yeah. I'm imagining that Muugen is maybe he's kind of just taking this in, maybe thinking about what his ideas might be.
I won't get into the RP elements of that at the moment, but basically during most of this conversation, he gives sidelong glances.
Yeah.
Again, running through a range of emotions from anger to surprise to, and every once in a while a double take, as in, he's still here, right? He's still here.
All right. So what I'm thinking is that I feel like that panel is the key here. Because if we can somehow turn off the instructions or change them, I guess.
Make an Arcana roll.
Okay.
Nira.
19.
You remember that CK called it a golem? And you are familiar with the concept of golems, is that they are, built from inanimate matter, and then there's a magical element that animates them. But key to that is that there are written instructions that is what dictates their behavior. And sometimes those instructions could be things like "do what I tell you," but sometimes they could be, more specific or less specific or whatever. But those instructions are placed in a golem in order to dictate how it operates. And so you suspect that's and those instructions are like critical to its operation. So if they could just be removed, it would just stop.
All right. So if we can remove the instructions, CK called it a golem. So based on what I know, if we can remove the instructions, the construct will stop.
Remove them.
Okay.
Right. And I realize that's probably easier said than done, but...
Sure.
You have to be really close to try to pull that panel off.
Right.
Or we could try to maybe superheat the boiler or clog up the pipes there, and it might explode.
Well, see, here's my thought. If there's something in the lower levels that's causing havoc, it might be helpful to have a golem on our side.
Sure.
You hope to turn it to your side? You've not seen this thing murder as I have. I don't know if it can be controlled properly. No one but Denholm really knew what it was supposed to do properly. And even he made a mistake.
Right.
There are other places in this mine. Maybe there are things you need to see. We can carefully go through them. I've been over every square inch. Of course, not too far below where the others are, but I can show you the lake and the layout. If there's a place that we can set an ambush for it, I can guide you if we're careful.
Is this the only one of its kind, or are there a bunch of them down there?
This is the only one of his that he constructed. Okay. The other things are small, no more than a foot in tall. But, and I don't think he made them. There's a tear that I've seen. Some of them have appeared. I don't know if they've come through it or not.
Wait, the tear.
Like a rift?
Is it? Would you describe it as purplish?
Some shades, I suppose. I didn't stay long. I just noticed that I looked away when I heard Denholm's golem, I guess it's called. When I saw the golem, or heard the golem coming, I looked away, then looked back, and there were more of them. I assumed the light was a magical effect, a teleportation or a spell. But it was more persistent than I imagined it to be. But I didn't get close.
Right.
Well, maybe we can just bypass the golem and go straight.
Incidentally,
it's down there.
CK's been listening to this, turning back and forth, following the conversation, and it just says, I don't think you can trust him.
It's a good point. We're keeping an eye on him for sure.
I've been down here for a while. He looks sheepishly over at CK, and kind of you see his eyes linger over the broken leg. He looks away.
And CK just turns away, like not even going to look at you.
He was the only person I had to talk to consistently for the first, I don't know exactly how long. The others...
Well, maybe, I mean, there's a lot of tools around here. Maybe I could do something about that leg.
CK, do you know anything about what's going on in the lower levels? What he's speaking of?
First, before he answers that, he turns to Archie. He says, "You can fix my leg."
You can fix his leg.
Possibly. I mean, do you have the blueprint for your own design?
And the compartment goes, and it's open. And so, if you want to make an investigation check on that one.
16.
Yeah, you don't know, like it's a pretty sophisticated design, so you don't know if you would be able to replicate it exactly without more time, but you could rig something that it would probably at least be able to walk.
Do it.
It would take a little bit of time. It's not like you couldn't do it in 5 minutes.
Right.
And be wary of the noise. It does seem to be able to detect noise, even if it can't see you. Noise carries in these mines.
Right, and that's our problem right now. So getting down to the lower levels, which I think is where we need to be, is a problem with the golem wandering around.
True.
There is another chance. The elevator, the one I told you not to take. The reason being is it takes its time. It's slow. It makes a lot of noise. But I have been thinking for a while that maybe I could use that to distract it, to bring it to the wrong place so that I can slip by more easily. I haven't been brave enough to try it yet, but maybe we could.
Don't suppose anybody has silence prepared.
No, but I was gonna swap out and make some big changes before we even got here. I hope so.
Yeah, nope, I don't have silence prepared.
This room is relatively quiet and peaceful. It's going to be busy on the lower levels for a while, and as long as we're quiet, it shouldn't venture in here. It hasn't really much needed to, although if it hears noise, it will go wherever it can. If you'd like to rest, this is one of the places I have found I can catch my sleep for a moment. Are you hungry? And he reaches over to a bag that's by the door, pulls out a stalk about the size of a loaf of bread, and he offers it. It's clearly a stalk of mushroom. It's really not that bad once you get used to it, and well, I've had apparently 3 years to get used to it.
So I'm gonna take it. Are you guys hungry?
I'll take some to be polite, but
okay. Well, I'm gonna take it, and I'm gonna take a piece of it, and I'm gonna look at CK, and I'm gonna do a big melodramatic wink, and I'm gonna cast Purify Food on it just to show that I'm suspicious.
The psychedelic ones are the ones with the funky colors.
All right. So you cast Purify Food and Drink, and you let me just look it up just to see what that how it describes that. It's
By the way, you would have literally had to take it from him because he's only got one hand to hold it with.
Yeah, so you cast your spell and you feel the sort of the aura go out, and so what you know is that all non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere, centered on a point of your choice, is purified and rendered free of poison and disease. It doesn't necessarily tell you if there was any there, but you know that there is no longer any there.
Right.
What did you do? Did you bless it?
I just made sure there was nothing harmful in it. And I give another wink to CK.
Oh, well.
CK just blinks at you. It only has the one eye.
If you eat too much, you may get the runs, but you shouldn't. That's the worst problem to do.
Thank you for the warning. It's greatly appreciated. I don't have a spell for that.
I'm gonna get some metal together and see if I can craft this and kind of, wrap it in cloth if I have to pound on something.
Yeah. Make an investigation check to see if you can find what you need here in the workshop.
The heroes of legend, making the world a better place.
It's a 10.
You feel like you have the tools necessary, but what you need is essentially like a piece of metal to act as sort of a splint. And there is not a suitable piece of metal in here, but you might be able to find one somewhere.
What are you looking for? You're looking around. There's not much.
Oh here. Yeah. We need, think of like a person's leg. We need to kind of splint it, so like a long piece of metal, like a rod or
a sword,
something stiff.
What would a sword do?
A sword would probably work.
Mm-hmm.
A number of people have come down here and they didn't leave with their things. You can probably rustle one of them up from some of the places I've hidden and stored some things.
That would work.
I will I'll do what I can. Again, looking over at CK with kind of an embarrassed look once again. But I will wait for a little while. I need to rest myself.
Right. And I think that's actually probably a pretty good place to stop for tonight. But hopefully we'll be having Mark back to continue as we explore these mines and their secrets.
Seems to be a mysterious stranger. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Oh, it was great. You did great.
So great.
Yeah, so glad you could join us.
Oh, it's so much fun. So much fun.
All right, so I think we'll probably bring this episode to a close. But thank you everybody for listening and or watching, and we'll be back next week for adventure on so many levels.
So many levels.
Yay!